is that the United States has over $1 trillion, broke that mark earlier this year. I think it's at like 1.4 trillion now or 1.3 trillion now. Yeah, we going at a record pace. So the United States, oh, hold on one second. Hold on. I got you, boo. Boom. United States is at 1 trillion in credit card debt, but this video supposedly describes how we got there. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification.
The U.S. economy has been on recession watch for months now, and so far, the all-important American consumer has been holding strong, keeping those recession forecasts from becoming true.
Consumer is still spending.
Consumer is in better shape. If they have money, they're going to spend it.
Consumers continuing to be resilient.
The consumer health has been resilient so far this year.
Consumer resilience.
Don't it sound like they all reading from the same script in order to sell you a lifestyle that you don't even really need? That's what it sounds like to me.
Is about to be tested. Americans now carry more than $1 trillion in credit card debt going into the holiday shopping season. The Federal Reserve's rate hikes have caused average interest rates for credit cards to spike to more than 22%. Rates on retail credit cards are even higher, nearing 29% on average. Despite this, the holiday season shows no signs of a slowdown, as each shopper is prepared to spend almost $900 on average this year, according to an NRF survey.
The US consumers walking towards a cliff, basically.
The state of the consumer will be in focus in the post-holiday season, as economists will want to know, can American consumers handle racking up a record amount of credit card debt, and if it will lead into more delinquencies?
The answer, y'all want to know the short answer? Yes. Yes. The repo man is out here killing it right now. The repo companies is making a killing. Landlords is making a killing. Evictions, whoever is a part of that process is making a killing. Family court law is making a killing. Attorneys is making money. Everybody is making money off of you except for you. Ain't that crazy? Everybody in the world, politicians, road crews, construction, everybody in the world is making money. Credit card companies, the banks is just absolutely positively trying to hold on to their cash cows as much as they possibly can. And they going to sell you everything that they can. And they even going to throw in a couple of little trinkets in there as a result of it and say no interest for the next 6 months. Oh, don't worry about it. You could just transfer your credit card balance over to that card and then you can just do it, keep doing it again.
This is the first time credit card debt has topped $1 trillion in America. That amount includes both revolving balances and balances paid off at the end of the billing cycle.
Consumers are increasingly reliant on credit cards to finance purchases of everyday goods and services, and that's because they're just getting a lot more expensive. At the same
And do y'all see how easy it is now? You don't even got to pull out your card. You ain't got to have it with you. You could just, boop, just go ahead and hit it.
time, their wages are not increasing at the same pace as inflation. And that makes it more difficult because as the credit card balance increases, it can be more challenging for consumers to pay down that debt.
The excess savings that Americans lined their pockets with during the COVID-19 pandemic is largely now spent. High inflation and interest rates have made everything more expensive. Normal costs like groceries, gas, and housing are all rising. Add in the resumption of student loan repayments, and it's creating the perfect rising debt storm.
Americans are skipping out on some of their credit card payments because household budgets are squeezed due to higher borrowing costs.
Another factor for the rising debt is the increase of credit card users. More than 70 million new accounts have been opened since 2019.
Shout out to everybody that tried to finesse Navy Federal. Remember when y'all used to see all of those videos? I'm going to read that super chat shortly. And everybody was talking about, yeah. You need to go and open a Navy Federal account. And they'll give you this kind of limit and that kind of limit. And when I used to hear that, I used to say to myself, because I don't have a Navy Federal account. I have no need for a Navy Federal account. I don't really see the value in having a Navy Federal account. It serves me in no way, shape, or form. And everybody was walking around like, yeah, man, you need to go and get a Navy Federal account. And I was seeing all of these videos, open up a Navy Federal. But nobody was having a conversation and saying, Well, what do you actually need a Navy Federal account for? Fast forward, I see a bunch of people basically saying that they falling out of line, and Navy Federal is starting to make the adjustment to make sure that they lower people's limits. They prevent people from opening up new accounts. Why? Because there was no reason for them to actually open it up in the first place. What was the purpose for you opening up a Navy Federal account? That's the question. The question should never be, is it accessible to you? Because the thing that I even see within the culture a lot of times is we should have access. We should have access. We should be able to get more loans, and we should be able to do this. My question always becomes, okay, for what reason? Why do you want to do this, and how is it then going to help you become greater at being a person that is prepared for retirement, for success, for making sure that your kids don't have to take out student loans to go to college? So you just became more of a consumer for what reason? Raise my credit score. Okay, to do what? For what? If you just wanted to raise your credit score, then all you had to do was get a secured credit card and keep your utilization low and then hold on to the card for a long time. You don't need a...
That year, 65% of Americans owned a credit card. And after a contraction in issuance due to the pandemic, the amount of Americans owning a credit card rose to 69% in 2023.
Credit cards can be like power tools. They could be really useful or they could be dangerous. It's all about how you use them.
Typically, after the holiday season, credit card debt levels drop as consumers pay down their shopping balances. But at the start of 2023, it remained unchanged, and now shoppers are prepared to spend even more than 2022.
Holiday shoppers do plan to spend more, according to a survey and the forecast done by the National Retail Federation. They found that people plan to spend about $40 more than they did last year, and that could be in part because of higher prices in some categories. There is still this deal-seeking mentality for items, and so that may mean that people are going to look for whatever is on sale, along with seeking newness.
Americans planning to flood the mall with their retail credit cards may be shocked when the bill comes, because those cards are carrying a higher interest rate than years prior. In fact, some are starting to rise to rates that only subprime borrowers see, rates exceeding 33%.
Guess why I don't really care about rates? And you guys have seen me show my credit score and all of that stuff 1,000 times. I'm not going to do it again. I show too many receipts anyway. I shouldn't even be keep saying and doing all of these unboxings, because all it's doing is going to make people jealous. And then they're going to want to come after me because Anton be showing too much money and he be bragging and I don't like his arrogance. Okay. We're not going to make it about me. But I've never actually cared about an interest rate. You know why? Because I don't pay credit card interest. I was literally just having a conversation with Rita the other day, and I said, I have no idea why Chase, Sapphire, or American Express Platinum, or any of that type of stuff continue to court us. Why do they want to court us? Why do they want to keep saying, hey, more, have a good time, Anton, do this? I don't understand why they want to. For people like me, they should be able to vet us out and say, no, we don't really want to rock with them. She said, why you say? She started laughing. She said, why you say that? She said, I think I know what you're going to say. Why you said? I said, because when we went over to Tokyo, the hotel room was free. I had a, $12,000 to $15,000, it was like $12,000, $13,000 hotel room. I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and it was free. So it was paid for by them. And I didn't give them no money in interest. And all of the stuff that I was using it for, I was already using it for. And see, I don't like to have that conversation, because then other people will try to take that strategy and then they'll overspend on things that they wasn't going to buy anyway, right? And then they'll justify it. And even if they do pay off the balance in time, they still overspent on things that they didn't need in the first place. So, but I was already going, I have to travel. I have to get the hotel room. I have to get my flight tickets. I got to buy certain materials for some of the properties that I'm building. I got to do this. I got to do that. I've already allocated monies in order to do it from a business perspective. And so as a result, it was already coming out and I already had the resources for it. I didn't have to finance it. And so I didn't care about the interest rate. I don't even look at the interest rate when they sent me the card in the first place. I need the card in order to reserve a car when we go to a different city so that I'll have a rental vehicle in order to get where I need to go. I can't reserve a rental vehicle without having a credit card. I can't reserve a hotel room without having a credit card. And so I need it in order to hold certain things, in order to ensure that I can move. And then as a result of it, when I pay it off, we go stay at the Ritz-Carlton, right? I just bought the top of the line new Apple monitor, the 27-inch monitor, because I was waiting. I had to wait till the end of the year. And I bought the new Mac Studio, and that cost me that was supposed to be another $4,000. So the Mac monitor was $2,300 in taxes. And then this Mac Studio was $4,000. So that's $6,500, like almost $6,500, right? And I didn't pay for either one of them. Because I literally used my reward cards balance to buy it. Because at the end of November, up to November 30th, Apple had up to 50% more bonus points that you can leverage your Chase Sapphire rewards points for in order to get more points. And so I seen that. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me check our points. Because I was saving points for another trip that I was going to use in order to get flight tickets. And then I was going to head to Italy next year or something like that. I looked at, I ain't got to spend $6,500. I could just go over here and leverage the Chase points and rebuild a whole new studio and upgrade my equipment, right? But that's not how people think. They don't think, okay, well, I don't need this, or, okay, well, I'm going to leverage this because I'm already out of debt. I don't have no student loan debt. I don't do anything. I'm already having the money over for this. They don't think like that. They first think like that in order to justify themselves getting a card, and then they start moving differently because they say, well, it's crunch time, or I need to use this for an emergency, or I'm going to justify this to buy something that I don't really need, or I got the money anyway, I'm going to just pay it off at the end of the month. And so a lot of times they find themselves under duress and they don't know how they got there, but it's a mindset that comes with having a discipline in order to be able to have that type of responsibility. So before you can start to have conversations based off of credit card debt, you got to ask yourself the question, why are we carrying over debt, the type of debt that we wasn't supposed to be carrying over, to the tune of over $1 trillion? It makes no sense.
Retailers have already noticed is that credit card delinquencies have ticked up. And that may mean that people are struggling to make payments and could again be a warning sign.
Big box retailers like Macy's and Nordstrom already flagged the slowdown of repayments on their credit cards over the summer, showcasing a potential risk to retail revenue this season. The average consumer has around a $6,000 credit card balance, $400 to $600 monthly student loan payment, high rent, and car loan payments.
And credit cards got the highest interest rates, short of a payday loan. Credit cards got the highest interest rates that you can find.
Americans may wonder if it's even possible to keep their heads afloat.
The best tip for credit card debt payoff actually is to get a 0% balance transfer card.
See?
So you move your existing.
Now they selling you on why it's okay to still hold on to the balance instead of eliminate. They don't give you the steps in order to get you clear. They don't give you the steps in order to prevent yourself from being in that situation in the first. They don't want to cure you. They just want to be able to give you the medicine to carry you forward to stay on that titty. They want you still on that nipple. They still want you on that breast milk. They don't want you to mature. They don't want you to grow. They just want to give you the thing that's going to keep you in the hospital seeking out getting the medicine. They're not trying to cure you because there ain't no money in the cure. The money ain't in the cure. The money is in the treatment. They just want to treat the problem. They're not trying to cure you. When you see people advocate for leveraging it, they're not looking at it from a business perspective. They're not teaching you that because they know you don't even have the fundamentals and the financial literacy in order to get there in the first place. And so they give you the treatment instead of making you actually get the cure, because once you get the cure, it unlocks a completely different mindset when it comes to how you're supposed to look at money and finances, right?
High cost debt to this new card with a 0% promotional rate.
Credit card balances saw the largest increase of all debt types this year, $45 billion. And compared to other debt types, credit cards typically hold the highest interest rates.
Any extra money should probably go to the credit card just because that's likely to be your highest cost debt by a wide margin.
If one more person hit me up and they say, Anton, should I pay off my debt first? Should I pay off my credit cards first? Or should I invest? Let me just go ahead and save you some money on a coaching call, and I'm going to give you the information right now. Pay off the credit cards. Throw every dime, get a second job, do DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, Go gig working, do whatever it is that you got to do, put your pride down and pay that junk off and never go back. A bad credit card debt and student loans is like a bad relationship that you just got out of. Often at times when you get further away from it, you start to look at it from a nostalgic perspective and you start to think that things were better than they really were. In reality, when you get back into it, you're going to realize it's a reason why you left that relationship in the first place. Credit cards, student loans, debt in general are like bad relationships that you left. You got a bunch of stuff out of it. You forgot the duress that you was under when you was in it. And so when you look back on it, it seems like it's better than it really was because time heals all wounds, but you never forget the euphoric moments, right? We have revisionist history. There's a lot of people that look at high school or they look at the times when they was younger and they say, oh man, it was so great and we was playing outside. No, you was getting your butt kicked and you was actually getting beat up on a playground and you forgot that part because the only thing you remembered is when you came in and your teacher was nursing your wound and she gave you some cookies. So you remembered the cookies and you forgot the beat down. Stop going back to your abusers. You know how we always ask, man, we don't know why she won't leave him. That's credit card debt. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's debt. You pay off the car loan and you go a couple months without no car note and you're like, man, this is good. Next thing you know, you start searching the website and you looking at different cars and you on car channels like, ooh, that's dope. I can afford it. You go right back into the thing that you was trying to get out of it in the first place. All because you got a new car smell. That new car smell is going to wear off in a month. And you're going to be right back in the same situation that you was before. Upside down in a car that's worth less when you drove it off the lot and you shouldn't have been in it in the first place. Your car was just fine. And I'm not telling y'all that y'all can't enjoy yourselves and that y'all can't have a great time in y'all lives. But what I am telling you is that make sure that you prioritize doing the right thing first so that you can then do what you want to do instead of what you have to do. Because I don't want you going to work because you have to. I want you pushing it and working all of those hours because you're pouring it into things that actually add value into your life long term.